Hi, how are you doing, guys? So, welcome to the Academic Answers podcast, where we talk about personal development and full potential, happiness through freedom and committing to whatever it is that is in you, that is your natural inclination, and using that to design your best life, because we believe that you design your life in order for it to go forward. And the environment is, in the main, not so much of a great big deal, because it is our perception and how we conduct ourselves and how we respond to events that really makes it anything to talk about. For example, if you're home on a whichever day of the week and you have your cup of coffee ready and there's a book to read, or there's some type of a quiet moment, and suddenly you hear the rain pounding on the window outside, that real natural feel of raindrops, you would say, wow, this is a beautiful day to be home. I feel so relaxed and at ease because the rain is falling. If you are stuck in traffic, or you are supposed to go out to work on the reverse side of the coin, and the rain start to fall and there's mess outside, then you say, wow, what a lousy day. It's awful, it's wet and miserable out here. Nothing changed, rain was falling the same way, but now it is you and what you have to do and your perspective that's making the difference. So you see, it is more about how you respond. So I was on this call with the student, and she was asking me, Lowen, what is it that I have to look out for? What is it that is the trick? What is the underlying little thing that make or cause most people to fail on their journey when they start something, when they have desires, when they believe, when they're doing the work, when they're hard workers, when they have the work ethic. And I like to use stories. So I was telling her a story about why I have a unique disadvantage, and the two main reasons are because I grew up in an agricultural environment. I grew up in a farming community. All the terrains around me for the most part was agriculture, and I also grew up seeing a lot of construction, seeing buildings that people start on bootstring budgets, or building that people start too fancy, and it takes them a long time to complete. And I'll just tie up that story for you in better perspective when I come back to show you the one very important and unique thing that cause most people to fail. That little stickler, that little thing that's underlying everything that's going on. So I'll be back with you. Hold 1 second, take these messages from our sponsors. Appreciate you guys listening. See you when I get back. Welcome back, guys. So I was talking on what is that stickler, what is that underlying thing that get most people never made it through. It's not the skill level, it's not the opportunities, it's not, what you might think, that times and things change, so, people lose their businesses and all that fancy stuff. What actually get most people is the process. So I was telling a story that I grew up in a farming community, and what we used to do is Grandma would prepare the land. Takes her about 2 weeks. She'd clear all the shrubs and trees from the land and grass and everything else. And then she would go through manually plowing it with hose and forks and all that type of stuff. Manual tools, not the fancy equipment that you see around these days. And then after she's done that, she would take whatever seedling or sucker that is there. They call it sucker, like would be the yam vine and all these things that you use to replant after preparing them, because they have to be prepared and stored a certain way so they can be replanted. Peas, corn, and all that type of stuff. And it is probably the correct word is suckling. I don't know where these terms come from in our dialect, but there was a preparation period for these things, and you would prepare these things, and then she would put them in the ground. Now you have to put that thing in the ground for however long, 2, 3, 4 weeks. You put it under the ground, you're not sure what is going to happen. You'll have to wait. You will have to wait until it comes to some form of fruition. You don't know, you're uncertain, you're trying to get it right, you're hoping for rain, you're hoping for the right level of sunshine, and you'll have to wait out that process. It teaches you patience, and it teaches you that there is a process, and it teaches you that you do all you can, and then the rest, the universe and God will take care of. You do all you can, and then the rest, the universe and God will take care of. You don't have entire level, a full-scale level of control over anything. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. But not because we don't know if the yam is going to grow, or if the corn is going to grow, we're going to sit and do nothing and say, well, oh boy, you don't know. I might plant that stuff and then next thing none of it grow, or I did it last year and it didn't grow. It doesn't matter. You have to have a belief and a faith. And that ties into what gets most people. Most people are waiting to see the end. And because they can't see the end, they worry about all the things they can't control. And the things, worrying about the things they can't control, drown out the ability and the desire and the discipline and the focus to do the things that they can control. So what they do in reverse is that they revert to the comfort zone. They look for easy. They go back to the same old normal that at least keep them afloat. Although it is miserable, although it is painful, although it is unsustainable, although it don't make them happy, they go back to it because they don't want to risk going through the process of the uncertainty, and they don't have the belief system that make them believe in the process, that it is action plus effort that equal result. And they don't believe that when you get one thing set in motion, then other things that are similar, that are vibrate on the same frequency, will likely get into motion also. And from there, you scale and tweak until you get it right. There will be losses and failure, but these two serve their purpose, serve a major purpose in growing and becoming your best self and in achieving whatever goals you set for yourself. The process of failing early, failing fast, and failing forward. That is what gets most people. The process, not the skills, not the strategy, not the targeting, not the market, not the product. It is the commitment. It is the discernment to believe in process. And I was talking about the construction that happened when I was growing up. We find many houses going up on shoestring budget. They never had the money. When these houses are finished and you value them, they're way up in the millions. Way up in the millions. But these people don't know where those millions came from to put them together. Even at cost price, what it would cost. They don't know. They've never seen all that money at once. But they put it together bit by bit, bit by bit. Sometimes these houses sit there for 10, 15, 20 years. And there's no one to make another move on it. They can't. There's no money. And maybe they find it after 15, 20 years to get it to the end and make it happen. They put it down, they rest, but they never give up. Or maybe they sell it to somebody else who saw the potential in it and make something else of it and use that money to do something else in their lives. People do that. That's not what you want to do. Once you have your end goal, you see through to the end. If we're juxtaposing success with that construction thing. So what I want you to identify, and what I'm showing you in this is that even though you don't have all that it takes right now, you should not be waiting on all that it takes to start. You get started and you learn along the way. One CEO of this financial institution, this huge financial institution, used to say, fix the plane while it flies. You gotta ready, fire, then you aim. You won't have it all together. There will be never the perfect time. You won't have all the skill sets. You won't know all the people. You won't have all the systems in place, but you got to go. You have to move and trust that it will all fall into place. So that's what gets most people. Two things: the process, committing to following through on the process. Blinded, not pretty sure, not sure at all, because nobody's ever very sure. You saw the numbers, you know this, you know that, but there are always variables that you don't have a clue. But you trust the process. You trust that if you do A and B, C should be the result. And if C is not the result, I'll change and tweak how my A is, whether I use a capital or common A, and I'll go again. And you go again, and you go again until you trust the process. And the second thing is that don't wait to see it all before you start. There'll never be the right time. So that's what gets people. People don't make it to the end of their goals, or don't live the life of their dreams, because they don't have the belief system and they don't trust in process. They're not willing to do it all the time and trust the process and their abilities that they will figure it out and things will fall into their favor. And that's how great things have been built. Edison wasn't trying to light his bedroom. He's failed in those experiments, failed over 1,000 times. People have different numbers, 10,000, 1,000, whatever it is. But he stayed at it, stayed at it until it comes. He wasn't sure. If he was sure, he would do it one go. Trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. That's why you and I get to live the life we live today. You go out here and you do what there is, or what it is that is in your heart to do. And then that is what you will see the results coming from. That is the mindset. And that is what gets most people. The process, the ugly, the hard, the monotonous, the ridiculous, the time-consuming, the annoying work. Don't allow it to get you. It is hard, but it will be worth it. Have a good one. Always a pleasure. Reach out to me, lowenmotivatorcar@gmail.com, lowenmotivatorcar on Instagram and Facebook.
I don't know what that dream is that you have.
Thank you so much.
I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. That dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible.